Hello, who are you and where are you from?
Sure, my name's Cyndy Saylor and I'm from San Diego, California.
Fantastic. And what do you do?
I'm an herbalist.
Fantastic. And then has the climate changed much since you were a kid?
Well, I've lived in San Diego most of my life, which is in Southern California, and yes, it has changed quite a bit since I was a kid. For here, you know, we live in a pretty temperate climate, but when I was a kid, we used to get these wonderful rains, and they would kind of come at different, you know, it sort of depend, but mostly they would start sometimes, you know, November, December, and then they would sort of run through the end of March, and that was when we would get all of our rain, and you'd have these wonderful thunderstorms, and sometimes we get a lot, sometimes we might get a little bit less, but it would always rain. And so that was really wonderful. And then the other thing that was a real hallmark to me about the weather when I was a child was that we would always have Santa Anas, which is when the hot desert winds come to our coastal area from the Anza Borrego Desert. And so we would get those and it would get really hot, like it might get into the 90s or something, but they would last a very short amount of time. So that might be, you know, a 4 to 6 week time period when that would happen. And that was it. It wouldn't happen any other time of the year. Now in my lifetime that I, you know, currently 2023, sometimes we get a lot of rain, sometimes we don't get any. It varies quite a bit. Sometimes we get rain at unexpected times. A trend I've noticed is that we've started to get rain in the summer months, which is very unusual for our climate and probably not really great for our region, for our plants and our animals who are not used to getting wet during that time of year. So it kind of throws off their natural life cycles. So. And then the hot weather, the Santa Anas come at the strangest times. Sometimes they don't come at all in the fall, but sometimes they'll come in the spring and scorch all the plants. So those are big things, I guess, that I've noticed a lot. And then the ocean's a lot warmer here too. But those are the big things I've noticed.
Wow. And so do you think about climate change on an everyday basis? And if, let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most concerned, where would you put yourself?
I'm probably at a 10. I mean, I don't know. I try not to obsess about it or worry about it constantly just because of my quality of life, but it is something I'm concerned about. I try to do what I can as an individual, but the issue with climate change is that no one person can solve this. We have to do it as a collective, which means we all have to work together to do lots of little things to solve the problem. So yeah, I'm very concerned. I have 2 children, but even if I didn't, I think I would be concerned because you know, we're not the only species on the planet, and we're wreaking havoc for all the other creatures and plants and animals that are here, and that just doesn't seem fair to me.
And what about the future? Are you an optimist or a pessimist, and is there anything we can do about it?
I'm always a hopeful person, so I never give up hope, but it's definitely concerning, you know. There's actually been a lot of really cool legislation that's come through in the past couple of years with the Biden administration. I know that, you know, it's called the Inflation Reduction Act. It's very political. Everyone gets in big fights about it and everything. However, there's an enormous amount of really great opportunities there to help number one, create a lot of jobs, because if you look at climate change in a certain way, it's really one of the biggest jobs program you could ever create for ourselves. So anyway, I guess I'm very hopeful about that because when you really look at that plan, it's kind of extraordinary, and there's a lot of opportunity there. The problem, the biggest problem for us humans is just simply that we've kind of left everything to the last minute, and if we're willing to actually do the heavy lifting we need to do this decade, I don't know, but I'm hopeful.
Wow. Well, thank you very much. On the 10th of May here off of Balboa Park, and what's the name of this dog park? Something Point.
Nate's Point Dog Off-Leash Area.
All right, very good. Hey,
right.
Thank you very much. And
you're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.